We're going to move on to a question from online. And this is going to start with John for a minute. What will you do at the federal level to support expansion of multimodal transport, including front range rail?
Yeah, I believe infrastructure is key to every district in this country. And I think as this area grows, I've been here 21 years, and it feels like it's doubled in size. And you can't just keep expanding the highway system. The problem with expanding the highway system is you build it for max capacity, but 90% of the time, it's not max capacity. The best means of transportation is rail. You build a set of railroad tracks, and all you do is to add capacity is add cars. You can surge it for peak demand, and you can bring it down for not peak demand. So I would absolutely support front range rail. I ride to Denver on the bus all the time and catch the train to DIA, and I would prefer to actually take the train to Denver. I think it'd be much safer than riding up I-25. So I would absolutely expand and support that.
Thank you. River.
As someone who has actually been very dependent on public transportation in my past, I can tell you that what is a 10-minute drive can be a 2-hour bus ride. We need to expand public transportation, and we need to expand trains. And we need to elect Democrats in our county commissioners so that way we can approve those trains when someone like me can approve that funding. And I know we're capable of building trains here because this district, is home to the highest elevation train in the world. And if we can put a train up Pikes Peak, we can put one downtown.
Thank you. Orlando.
Well, I think we've already got a train system set up. I mean, we can use what they were using the coal, right, to get through here. But I do agree with creating a train system along the Front Range. I also think we need to invest in nuclear, wind, all the renewable resources. I think that, we were talking before about climate change. I think we've got to start making investments in those. Thank you.
Thanks. Adam.
So, first thing I talked about was this, making sure that we build our infrastructure around getting people from their homes to where the commerce is. Being able to get to a Switchbacks game, get to a Broncos game without touching your cars. That's our goal here. To step into that, though, we also need to start increasing our access to the bus route so it doesn't take 2 hours. I think right now there's a plan to put bus routes in areas that are underutilized so that they can pull that funding. We can't allow that to happen. We don't allow that funding to get pulled. We try to reestablish bus routes in communities that are going to use it more likely. And that's going to help with our disparaged communities. Taking these buses and making sure that they are renewable energy and things like that's going to feed into our climate crisis, making sure that we're always keeping that again at the forefront of our minds. Thank you.
Thank you. And we're now going to move back online for Joe for a 60-second response.
I think multimodal is the key word there. We talk a lot about investing in rail. We talk a lot about investing in trains, and that's smart. But that doesn't necessarily get into all the communities that require additional transportation resources. And I think we have to look beyond in how we can leverage technology into implementing smarter roadways to decrease traffic in congested areas. So there's a lot of solutions that when we think of a multimodal solution, we have to think of the transportation network as a whole. And that does includes strong investment in front range train, but also thinking well beyond that as well. And I think that technology can bring new novel solutions that go beyond just the old fashioned, well, we've just put a train rail there. I think we can go beyond that as well, and that can lead to better equitable solutions for all communities.
Okay, thank you. And John, you have 30 seconds.
Yeah, a lot of the transportation we're talking about, at least has been talked about, is local transportation, and that's funded largely through property taxes. I have an opponent on this panel today who's actually talked about stopping the charging of property taxes for inherited houses and stuff. I am opposed to anything like that. Property taxes pay for local services, and they should be paid on every house. Thank you.
River?
Okay. We need to be creating contracts for unions to keep our public transportation clean and green and initiating extra construction for that project as well. And I do hate to rebuttal other Democrats, however, I'm sorry, Orlando.
Nope.
The current train track system that we currently have, which is coal power, isn't going to be something we can easily turn into a transit system for our community as far as people traveling place to place.
No, that's fine. I think we've got the space there.
There's
Yeah.
no back and forth, please.
Okay.
We will be here all night.
That's all right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Orlando, you now have 30 seconds.
All right. No problem. I'm just thinking that there's space there, that's already been dedicated to a rail. That's all. Just throwing out ideas there. But I do think as far as intercity modes of transportation, we've got to improve that. I've been to Europe and I see all kinds of people that just get on trolleys all day long and that's all they do. And it gets to wherever they need to go pretty quickly.
And that's Tom.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It can be done.
Adam?
Another mode of multi-transportation that we need to make sure that we don't neglect is bikes, just bicycles. Like, we need communities that we can travel in and be able to walk to the store and be able to get everything that we need. It's going to be safer communities for our kids, and it's going to be more convenient for us. So don't forget about bicycles.
All right, that wraps up that particular question. This next one is also from the audience. We're going to start with River. Oh, sorry. It's hard to switch back and forth between these modes. I apologize for that. Joe, you have 30 seconds.
Well, I appreciate Adam mentioning the bicycles because that is an important part. In fact, just last fall, I was involved in a really nasty bicycle crash in Cheyenne Canyon. But I also want to we talked about union protections as well, and looking beyond just not just your rail workers, but going back to rideshare workers as well. We need additional protection for those individuals. And unions would be a great example of how we can strengthen that multimodal part of the transportation network.
Thank you.